Hey guys, what's up? My name is Evan Schneider, and today in this exciting video, I'm going to be showing you how to color grade footage from the new Mavic 2 Pro drone from DJI. Now this drone is a huge step up from the Mavic Pro First Edition. One of my favorite features is the 1-inch sensor, which is just going to bring a whole nother level of clarity to your images and a natural sharpness. It records in 4K with 10-bit color, which basically means that the color detail is going to be much richer, and it's actually going to make it a lot easier to color grade. You're going to be able to push the image around a lot more, and you're going to be able to see more of the slight variations in the lighting and color in your footage. In this video, I want to show you the settings I use to get the best image quality possible, and I'm going to show you how to color that footage to make every shot look incredible. Alright, so we are up here on the roof, and I'm just going to fly it and test all the different modes so you can see the differences between everything. So here we go. So since it's a really bright day, I have my ISO all the way down at 100. I have a shutter speed of 1/160th and an f-stop of f11. I want to close down the aperture as much as I can so that I can get a lower shutter speed. Ideally, I would have an ND filter on there, but right now, since they're not out yet, I'm just going to close down the aperture. So right now, if I go to the camera setting, you can see my video size is at 4K full FOV 3840 by 2160. Now this mode is not 10-bit, it's 8-bit, but it's using the entire sensor to show you the full field of view it has. Now if you look and I switch to 4K HQ mode, you can see that it crops in a little bit to the image. Now there's a little bit of a trade-off going on here. You have 4K 10-bit color, but you have to crop into the image a little bit. Now we're gonna stay at 4K HQ and we're gonna go back and we're gonna go to our color. So right now we're recording at normal color and our camera video codec is H.265 and our style is none, it's just standard, and our white balance is sunny, and we're recording .mov and at 4K HQ. So that's what this looks like. Now I'm going to switch the color to DLog-M, and we're going to go back. I'm going to keep everything else the same and press record. Now finally I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to the color and I'm going to hit HLG, and we're going to hit record and try that again. So what are the best settings for Mavic 2 Pro footage? Well, I actually think it's a lot more simple than the previous Mavic models. The normal color setting has a great dynamic range, and it has a really good contrast already. It's not too contrasty, but it's not too flat. It's a great starting point for color grading. I would say that if you want the easiest time color grading your footage, you should use the normal color profile with the standard picture style. Now, if you're more advanced at color grading and you want to squeeze the most out of your footage and you want the most flexibility, the DLog-M is another option for you. It's going to take a little bit more work in post-production to color grade this, but it's still a good option and I still think the quality is pretty good. Now, the other thing you do want to consider is that when you're filming in DLog-M mode and you're looking at the screen, it's a little tough to see it on the screen when it's so flat. So that's another reason why I like to film in the normal profile. It's just a lot easier to see. So let's go inside and we'll color grade some of this footage. Alright, so we are here in Premiere Pro, and you can use this technique in pretty much any editing program you want. It works in Final Cut, it works in Premiere, it also works in DaVinci Resolve. So I've loaded up two clips. The first one is the normal profile, and the second one is the DLog-M profile. So let's get started on the first one. And I'm going to go to the color tab. So in the color tab, you want to make sure that you have your lumetri scopes selected. So you can see here that my highlights aren't quite hitting the top and my shadows aren't quite hitting the bottom. So there's some extra space in there for me to add some contrast if I want to. The goal of color correction is subtlety. It can be really tempting to push a slider really far and it gets this crazy contrast look and you can see all the details, but people are going to watch that and know that that doesn't look realistic. So the goal is to be subtle and to make small changes. Now I think this shot could use a little more exposure, so I'm going to push the exposure up a little bit. And I want to make sure that I'm not clipping things in highlights, so I'm going to bring that down a little bit actually. I think it could use a little more contrast, and I can see here that the blacks aren't hitting the bottom, so I'm just going to bring the blacks down a tiny bit. The other thing I want to do is add a little more saturation. Now, a really nice tool in color correction is called a LUT. A LUT stands for lookup table, and it's basically an easy way to get a color transformation on your footage. So there's a lot of LUTs out there, and I actually have a pack of LUTs that I'm selling, and so I'm going to be showing you what those look like on this footage. So if you click on Creative, and then I have my LUTs loaded in here, and so I'm going to do the LC Vivid 01 LUT. And so right away you can see that that added quite a bit of contrast. So I'm actually going to take the intensity and I'm just going to bring it down all the way, and then I'm going to slowly bring it up until it gets to a point where I think is good. And so you can see here that this is before and this is after. Before and after. So you can already see in a few pretty easy steps, I've taken this footage and I've stylized it and I've made it look a lot better. If you want a more stylized look, maybe I'll try LC Soft 04, and that kind of gives it a little more of a faded, more subtle look. And so this is before and after, before and after. The other thing you can do is click the arrows and it'll cycle through the different LUTs. Now say I think it's a little too contrasty, I can always go back into the basic correction and bring the contrast down a little bit to get more of a flat look. So you can see that the beauty of shooting with the standard profile is that you don't really have to do much to the footage. You just add some contrast, a little bit of saturation, and any sort of stylized look or LUT that you want to add. Now let's move on to the DLog-M shot. So you can see here that if I crank the contrast all the way up, it's not really doing much to the footage. And so I'm actually going to reset that. And I actually made a LUT to go from D-Log to Rec 709 for you guys for free, and you can download it in the description. And so I've loaded that in here. So in basic correction, in my input LUT, I'm going to choose that, and I'm going to go to DJI D-Log-M to Rec 709. And you click that, and instantly it's back into a linear color space and ready to grade. So really there's only one step after this, and it's applying a creative LUT. So I'm going to go back into my creative tab, and I'm going to choose LC Skin 01 for this one. And so you can see before and after, before and after. So using this technique, you can see how easy it is to make your Mavic 2 Pro footage look absolutely amazing, very quickly and very easily. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and comment, and consider subscribing to this channel for more color grading and filmmaking resources. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next time.